are, by nature, explorers. The same curiosity that sends us to the stars at the speed of thought urges us to go there in reality. And whenever we make a great new leap, we elevate humanity, bring people and nations together, usher in new discoveries and new technologies. So remember to look up at the stars and not down at your feet.
Welcome to everybody. This event is about stargazing in the UK specifically, okay? And we have something called Dark Sky Week, which is part of the International Dark Sky Association's series of events that's held around the world. And with the UK Astronomy Festival on this month as well, I thought it'd be great to do an event, a sort of a joint thing. And like I was saying, this talk is simply about how you can figure out the best places to stargaze. Now, I will say, guys, that wherever you're watching in the world, some of the information that I'm giving you is very, very suitable for you as well, wherever you are. So don't be put off by it's a UK thing. It certainly isn't. So let me just talk a little bit about the IDA. So the IDA is based in the States, and I'm just reading the slides here. It's a recognized authority on light pollution, and is the leading organization combating light pollution worldwide. So one of the things that we do is, as a delegate, is the protection of dark skies to ensure that the right type of lighting is installed. And I am very proud to be one of only a handful of IDA delegates in the UK. So it means that I have a lot of responsibility to ensure that people do work hard in making sure that we get the right type of lighting. So the International Dark Sky Week is held this week. So today's actually the last day. It's between April the 5th and the 12th of this year. And it's held in the week of the new moon. So that's so important, and I will explain more about that later on and how it's so relevant to stargazing if you want to go out and stargaze and stuff. So UK Astronomy, for the folks not aware what UK Astronomy is, it's a UK-based charity headed up by and founded by Ross Hockham and Frankie Hockham down in Milton Keynes, and they hold events, usually primarily down in their neck of the woods. And obviously with everything that's been going on, they haven't been able to hold any events. And as you can see here, it was fantastic. They got some funding for spacecrafter and some kit to make sure that their outreach is as good as it can be. And I myself am very proud to be part of the team. And the plan certainly was for last year to get started with doing UK astronomy events in the north. So, like I was saying, the UK Astronomy Events Festival is in April, and there's about something like 25 events that we've had. And obviously this is an event. I have just picked some highlights over the next couple of weeks because we still have a few more weeks left of the festival. So on the 16th at 6 o'clock, we've got Guide to the Night Sky. It's a live event, and we're going to be talking about the different things in the night sky at that certain day. And then a couple of days later, we're going to focus on the spring constellations in the night sky. And the other thing that's so cool is we all share the same sky. Anywhere, wherever you are in the world, we all share the same sky. And, that's one thing that we have in common and unites us. So it's a really, really cool thing. On the 22nd of April, the International Earth Day, so that's a specific international thing again, and there'll be a special talk on the 22nd. On the 23rd, it's a live event. It's at 6 p.m. So that's going to be pretty cool. Let's explore the universe. And very excited about this one. So the 25th of April, meet an astronomer. So my friend Ugne, who's based at Durham University, is going to be doing a live talk with Ross and chatting about the kind of things that she gets up to as a real-life astronomer. So that's going to be pretty awesome. Okay, guys, well, let's get started. It's all about the dark skies. If you're just getting started in astronomy, like I said, wherever you are in the world, the sad reality of it is the vast majority of people, they do live in light polluted areas. And what do I mean by that, light polluted areas? It's places where generally man-made things like lights, whether it's street lights, lights on buildings, any kind of artificial light at night that prevents us from seeing the truly amazing beauties of the night skies. And I guess that's one of the reasons why people are so fascinated about traveling out into the countryside where there's little light pollution to be able to look at the beautiful night sky. Now, there is a rating called the Bortle Dark Sky Scale. And what this is, you can go on a website and we will have a look at it. It's called lightpollutionmap.info. And it'll show you, by the way, anywhere in the world, wherever you are. It'll show you how much light pollution there is around you or anywhere else. And it'll also give a rating of the Bortle Dark Sky Scale. So this scale runs from 1 to 9. 9 being as pretty bad as it gets, you know. Pretty much if you live in a center of a major city or even the center of a town, you know, you're going to really struggle to see, well, it's almost impossible to see the Milky Way. But if it goes down to, say, a 1, so an excellent dark sky site, there aren't many of these sites, certainly in the UK. And, you know, if you go to, say, a 2 or 3 location, here, I'm showing you with my cursor here, this is the Milky Way, right? So this is part of the Milky Way. And the idea is that the lower the scale, the more of the Milky Way that you see. Although this isn't exactly true. So this diagram isn't, I would say, as an astronomer, isn't the best type of diagram because it's a little bit deceiving. But I guess it gives you that overall understanding of there is a ranking system of anywhere in the world that you can find out what scale it is. So we're talking about going off to stargaze. One of the things you want to do is go on a light pollution map and check to make sure that wherever you're going is fairly low on the scale if you want to really look at dark, faint things like the Milky Way. Okay, I'm not talking about looking at planets or bright stars or star clusters. You can see them in, you know, even 7 or 8, you can probably see them. But I'm talking about the really faint objects, stuff where maybe you've purchased a telescope and you want to go off and, you know, really use it and have a bit of fun with it. So this is the map which I look at a lot. And it's obviously of the UK, most of it. And what it denotes is the red sort of areas are where the light pollution is worse. Okay, the really dark patches here and here, these sort of places scattered around, these are the dark sky sites. So basically minimal light pollution. And, you know, if I was to really want to go to the best places, then these are the maps that I look at. So let's look at lightpollutionmap.info. This is a screen grab which I just did about an hour ago, and it's almost the same map, isn't it? So you can see the redder regions, heavy light pollution, Newcastle, London, Birmingham, Manchester, and so on. So these are the major cities where you're really going to struggle to see faint things. But what's really interesting of this map is if you look up here into Scotland, the Highlands, northern Scotland here, these are pretty much Bortle 1 areas where there's zero light pollution. I went to this location back in September of last year to look at the aurora, and I chose it because look at it, there's no light pollution. So very, very cool. let's just highlight some Snowdonia, Brecon Beacons in Wales here. Great location to stargaze. Look at this. I mean, almost zero light pollution in certain areas. Absolutely stunning. I mean, it's somewhere where I'd love to visit, and I'll definitely have to make an effort to go and check it out. Over here in the northeast of England, so this is Newcastle, Sunderland. Very, very red, little, very poor for light pollution. But then we go off here to Northumberland, which is obviously where I'm based. So we're here actually at Twice Brewed. You might have noticed the logo of Twice Brewed Inn. So with Twice Brewed, we run stargazing events, and this is why Northumberland is one of the best places as well, certainly in England, to stargaze because of minimal light pollution, and frankly because no one lives there. So that's why we have such little light pollution. So we've talked about using the website Light Pollution Map, which is what I highly recommend, because it's not, like I said, not just for the UK, anywhere in the world. It'll give you a projection of the light pollution, okay? Absolutely highly recommended. If specifically in the UK, there are something called the dark sky discovery sites, and these are specific locations. So what you can do is you go on the website. It's, I just typed in dark sky discovery, and it comes up. And here is a map of, obviously. And all these little points here are locations which have been awarded or recognized as a dark sky place. And what you can do is you can zoom in and zoom in and zoom in until you can click on the actual information tab to tell you exactly what you're to expect. So maybe it's an observatory, maybe it's even a car park, maybe it's a designated, dark sky place with certain facilities. Certainly in Northumberland, we have, facilities where you get, it's a car park. There's a 24-hour toilet facilities and so on. So some places will be very, very accessible. Some places I've looked at are literally a golf course car park, which may or may not be open. So you've got to be careful. I would highly recommend, if you're not having to travel too far, is to go during the day. Check it out, especially if you're into getting a telescope and doing some photography. Definitely, it's all about information, guys. We're talking about stargazing in the UK. Of course, it's different if you're wanting to travel a bit further out. So, and the vast majority of the population lives in this part here of the UK. There's less density as you go further up, population density. But certainly, if you want to travel up, then click on them properly. Do your research. It might be a stay and gaze provider. Because certainly there are places, Twice Brewed Inn being one of them. You can come over, stay over, stargaze with us and everything else. And we're located in the Dark Sky Park. So there'll be loads of these kind of things scattered throughout the UK. Okay, so this is the most important thing, I would say. And it's something that, for some reason, not many people are super aware of. The moon phase. Now, I want you to imagine that you're planning a stargazing trip to the darkest site there is, right? So let's say you're going to the Atacama Desert in Chile, right? And you're really excited because it's zero, Portal 1, darkest skies in the world. And you're like getting your telescope and your camera kit and you fly over there and it's full moon. What does that mean? With the full moon, you're not going to get dark skies. The moon gives out a lot of light pollution. And astronomers who are into photography and astrophotography, generally they dislike the moon because the moon gives out so much light pollution. Guys, you might as well be in the center of a major city. But the thing is, people who live in the center of cities or towns, because they don't see the contrasting difference between no moon or new moon, it's not registered in their minds. And I will put my hand up. I was one of those people years and years ago. I didn't really understand the impact of the moon when it comes to stargazing. I know it sounds ridiculous, but I promise you this. If you're going to make the investment, if you're going to go out, travel really far to do things like aurora chasing, deep space imaging with your kit, then you absolutely don't want to go when the full moon is out. Now, the thing is, if you want to stargaze, right, with a telescope, then I would say the moon, yes, it's a bit of a pest when it comes to light pollution, but for the general stuff that you may want to look at, things like planets or star clusters or even certain nebulas, maybe even galaxies like Andromeda, then the moon won't have that much of an impact. It will, but it won't have that much. But if you want to look at really faint things like globular clusters, planetary nebulas, fainter, more distant galaxies, certainly when it comes to imaging, then generally you really want to work your calendar around the moon phase. Okay, so it doesn't matter what I'm trying to say. It doesn't matter if it's Bortle 1 or Bortle 9. If the full moon is out, it's pointless. And this is something that a lot of people don't really go into, but I go on and on and on about it. So this image is great because it gives you a perfect example of the impact of the moon and the light pollution. So it's actually one photograph. Okay, so I know it sounds like it almost looks like it's the same photo but different. It's actually the trees are different. So my camera was set in position. This is actually taken at Yosemite National Park in the States. And the photograph was at 40-minute difference. So it was before when the moon was rising and when the moon came out, and the moon wasn't even full. The camera settings were exactly the same, but you can see so clearly here on the left-hand part, when there was no moon, how many more stars you could see. But when the moon came out, look at this. Massively reduced. I mean, look at light pollution. You might as well be in a major city, right? So this is why very important to double check on the moon phase. Here's a photograph that I took. Most of you have probably seen it. Actually, I haven't really shared this one. This is a photograph that I took in Northumberland a few nights ago. I'm actually still recovering. I'm like still half awake. But it shows you how being in a dark sky site and when there's no moon, you can see quite a lot. Now, the great thing is about this image is it isn't stacked. Okay, so that means some photographers, especially when it comes to the Milky Way, they'll take a photograph maybe 50 or 60 times and they'll stack them. So they'll kind of add them up together so that you see more of the stuff, and that's fine. But this image was a single image, which is more of an idea what you could see with the naked eye, and it was absolutely stunning, like absolutely amazing. So of course, being based in Northumberland, I'm a heavy advocate of coming here to stargaze with us. This is in a dark sky park, this is a place called Walltown, and lovely arching Milky Way overhead. And, again, the glow that you can see is actually from a town about 20 miles away, a town called Hexham. And I'm working hard on trying to reduce the amount of light pollution there. But we'll see. Now, this is the kind of thing that you can expect to see when you go to, say, a dark sky park. And the other thing as well is you just got to be sure that the Milky Way is out, by the way. Here's a top tip for you, because some people, they think to themselves, I want to see the Milky Way. And then they go, I'm going to go in July and fingers crossed I'm going to go camping. And I'm going to see this and that. Well, the challenge with that is being in the UK, we have, being at 53 to 55 degrees north, the tilt is quite extreme for us, isn't it? So in the summer months, the sun doesn't set till quite late, and it starts to rise quite early. So actually, in July and June, we don't have what we call night, okay? Because it doesn't get dark enough. And so that's why we have a stargazing season, okay? And the stargazing season is September to March, or maybe to April. Yeah, maybe, okay, April is probably more. I mean, it's April now, and this was the photograph from a few nights ago. So just, again, guys, please, just bear in mind these simple things. You know, check things like time and date, which is a website you can go on, and it'll tell you when the sun is set, when twilight ends, and when night begins. So, again, there are certain times of the year, and it changes every single day. This is due to the tilt of Earth, when the sun sets, when the sun rises. So when you have dark times, certain times of the year. And also, every single day, different times. And also the Milky Way, we see the Milky Way at certain times of the year. You don't always see it. So Michelle just asked me a question there. What sort of time can you see the Milky Way? Well, at this moment in time, so we're in April, the Milky Way, the galactic core, which is, as a photographer, that's what we're really interested in. So I'm just going to go back one slide. This is the galactic core, okay? This is, I would say, probably the most interesting part. It's pretty much the center of the galaxy. And this only rises at around 2:33 a.m. at the moment. And then by about 3:44 a.m. Here in Northumberland, the sun is starting to get to a point where it's not technically dark anymore. It's starting to become twilight, and then you start to struggle to see it. So it is fairly technical in that sense. But then wait until September, then the Milky Way's back up again. So it is certain times of the year that's more suitable. And we can talk about that. I think we will talk about that in a stargazing talk coming up later on in the month. But it's just, some basic things to understand, especially when it comes to making sure that it is super dark skies when you go. Now, please, right, I am being really, picky here. I am literally saying, how can you see it at its absolute best? Because even when it's not dark, when it's not defined as night, the stars are still out, and with telescopes we can see a lot more things. So stargazing, I'm not saying that stargazing ends, April to August. Stargazing can continue for sure, and you can look at loads of different things. There's exciting things to look at in the sky. I am specifically talking about dark sky stargazing, the darkest of the dark. Okay, guys, so I don't know whether this video works. If it doesn't, I will abort. But this is an IDA event, meaning that we are educating people about dark skies. Here's a little video that a very good friend of mine, Duncan Wise from Northumberland National Park, who's part of the IDA, put up, and it's a video about ensuring you've got the right lighting. So I'm just going to play it, and hopefully it's not going. We'll see how it goes.
Good afternoon. My name is Duncan Wise. I'm the lead officer for the Northumberland International Dark Sky Park, and I work for the Northumberland National Park Authority. What I'd like to do today is really just show you a device, a very simple device that I'm literally made on the kitchen table to demonstrate the different kind of outside lighting that is available and what is suitable for an international dark sky place like a dark sky park. Because obviously what we're trying to do is to reduce the causes of light pollution and excessive light splay up into the night sky. So it's sometimes very difficult to try and convey that message when you're given a stargazing event. But maybe for a few minutes at the beginning of each event, you could literally run through something like this just to clearly demonstrate the kind of lighting that's available and the kind of lighting that we would prefer to see in a dark sky place like Northumberland International Dark Sky Park. So this is something I literally made on the kitchen table a few years ago, and I've used it at many events since. As you can see, the back of it's a bit of a Heath Robinson affair, but it comprises really of a socket plank linked to 4 different kinds of lights. Behind this package here, there's some Christmas lights that also shine through some drilled holes in the front of this panel here. And literally I can just, it's quite lightweight. I can put it in the back of the car with the telescopes, and it's very simple to take out anywhere. So the kind of message I'm trying to convey is obviously trying to highlight the impact of different kind of lighting that's available. And this is probably the most common type of bulkhead light that is commonly bought at DIY stores, and electrical contractors install them all over the place. Very traditional kind of light, but again, a very ineffective light. First of all, it shines light in all directions, including outwards towards you as you walk towards it, which can often kind of glare and create an enhanced sense of darkness around it, because your eyes are trying to adjust to the very brightness of this kind of bulkhead light. And that often is counterproductive in regards to security, because it makes everything around it darker and less visible to see anyway. So you can see a lot of the light is shining upwards, and sometimes I use a balloon, but often my hand, just to demonstrate, say if you're a cloud or some moisture hanging above a town or a city, you can see the way that the light is kind of interacting and reflecting off the cloud above, which creates that kind of sky glow that is so often seen above our towns and cities. So we say, no, this is not the kind of lighting we want to see in a dark sky park. What we would prefer to see is a fully shielded light unit, something like this. This is a floodlight, which again is more commonly available these days. They're mostly fitted with an LED light. The best way to install them is to ensure that they are fully facing downwards. Very often, unfortunately, they can be facing outwards, and that can create a lot of glare and is very uncomfortable again to look into. The other kind of message that we want to try and convey is the fact that, you know, there are different types of color temperature. Some white light is a much warmer white light. Anything below 3000 Kelvin is preferable to the harsher, bluer white light that you see, which is above 4000 Kelvin up to 10,000 Kelvin. This lamp unit here is a 6000 Kelvin unit, and it emits a very harsh blue-white light. And as you can see, when I put my hand underneath it, it may not be so clear on the video, but it really washes out the color of my hand, and people in the front row can easily see that my hand is much whiter than with a normal sort of indoor light. Again, we know the impact of this blue-rich LED floodlighting, certainly on nocturnal animals and their behavior, and their feeding patterns. And again, it's the kind of lighting that we do not want to see in a dark sky park. I can also compare it with, say, a better designed version of the same kind of angled floodlight. This one, however, has a 3000 Kelvin bulb in it, and it emits a much warmer white light, which is far more appropriate for outdoor uses, both in town and countryside. And when I can move my hand from, you know, underneath the 6000 Kelvin towards the 3000 Kelvin, my hand literally warms up. They can physically see the difference of the quality of light that's being emitted from both these units. And both these units are okay if they are literally facing downwards, as I mentioned earlier. However, we would prefer most people to install this kind of lighting. This is a fully shielded downward light with a 3000 Kelvin light bulb. It's a nice warm soft light. The light is shining exactly where you need it, normally downwards towards your, you know, for your front door to enable you to get in safely. You can install them around your house if you're wanting safe access at night, and, you know, less than 600 lumens. This is, I think, a 500 lumen bulb. So again, giving out the right amount of light that you need to be able to access your property safely at night, and to give you that degree of security without creating an overlit situation. And of course, when we do get that kind of lighting, then hopefully we can also see the stars at night. And this is where the sort of twinkling stars has that immediate effect of showing starlight when you put the right kind of lighting in place. So
Okay, guys, sorry about that. So that was my friend Duncan from Northumberland National Park. I hope it was a great little demonstration of having the right type of lighting installed. and the impact that has, not only for us as stargazers to enjoy the night sky, but also for things like the animals and the behavioral patterns of animals, and even the effects light pollution has on humans, sleeping patterns and that kind of thing. So like I was saying with the IDA and our objectives is ensuring the right kind of lighting is in. Okay guys, well listen, that's actually my talk finished. So like I said, folks, for the guys watching on my page, I apologize. It shouldn't have been a public talk, because the talk is actually at 8 o'clock on my page. So it'll be fairly similar to this one, except the one at 8 o'clock is more international than just the UK. But it'll be around the similar thing. So you're more than welcome to rejoin me at 8 o'clock tonight. But I hope it's been useful for you all to talk to understand about places to go and stargazing. And so yeah, I just want to thank you all and hope you continue to enjoy the rest of the talks that we've got planned for the rest of the month of UK Astronomy. And I just want to play back the really cool intro video again, because I just really like it. And but for now, folks, thanks for watching, and take care of yourselves.